Imagine a world where every thought that makes a person's soul shudder, like murdering someone, cutting them into pieces and then burning them, is commonplace. I know this is hard for people to digest. Maybe you don't understand me. You might think I'm talking about a movie world. This world is not some other world. It's the very world you and I are living in right now. Today's story is about Zarka's innocent mother, a mother who had to drink the cup of death at the hands of her own people within the four walls of her home. Zara, a name that will now be remembered only as the tale of a crime, was killed in such a way that, after hearing it, many questions will rise in your mind. Can a home that is meant to protect a person ever become the reason for their death? How can a human heart become so hardened that hatred makes relationships and compassion meaningless? This story is not only about a murder, it's a conspiracy. It's about a toxic society. It's an incident that has stained not only the darkness, but also the face of humanity. Welcome to the new episode of Crime Story. First of all, let me tell you, in Siakat, in the case of a daughter-in-law's murder, the mother-in-law is the accused. Her hands are stained with the deed. They even said things like they should have cut her even more than they did. Zara has become part of a tragic story. Zara was a 26-year-old innocent mother. She had married Kadir 6 years earlier. He was from an ordinary middle-class background. Their home was in Kotli Maylan, Daska. Daska is a city in Siakat and Kotli Maylan is a small village in Daska after marriage. Zara and Kadir's relationship was fine at first, but with time tensions grew, especially over household matters. Zara had a lovely 1.5-year-old son, Mohammed Shafi, who I think was meant to be her biggest support in the future. But Zara's husband wasn't financially stable. To meet these financial responsibilities, he went to Saudi Arabia. This is common in Pakistan. Men marry but go abroad to work to shoulder financial burdens. At home, Zara lived with her mother-in-law, Sugra Bibi, who was actually her paternal aunt, and a sister-in-law named Yasmin. Both of them often treated Zara poorly. There were pointless arguments. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Clothes weren't washed. Small things. From day one, Zara's relationship with her mother-in-law and sister-in-law was strained. Sugra Bibi would say Zara didn't do household work properly. But according to Zara, these were unnecessary jibes and mental pressure. The tension rose so much that Zara found it hard to find peace and comfort even inside her own home. Zara's father, Shabir Ahmed, who is a police officer, used to reassure her and encourage her, telling her to try to adjust to the atmosphere. But I think that atmosphere was never meant for Zara. As the years of marriage passed, challenges in Zara's life only grew. Being a mother, her son was the center of her world, yet the same home where she had dreamed. So many dreams, the place she had left everything for became a place where living became difficult. Zara was deeply disturbed by her husband's absence and the household tensions. No one expected the stress to escalate so much that a mother would lose her life at the hands of her own family. One day Zara's phone suddenly went off. Contact with her family was severed. Her father, being a police officer, initially took it lightly, but after a few days when he couldn't reach her repeatedly, he decided to go to her in-law's home. When he reached there, Sugra Bibi and Yasmin told him that Zara had left for her parents' home that morning. But Shabir Ahmed noticed something strange. Zara's little son, still 1.5 years old, was left at the in-law's house. This surprised him greatly. How could Zara leave her child at her in-laws and go to her parents' place? That behavior was completely against Zara's nature. That sparked suspicion in Shabir's heart. Because he was a police officer, he immediately filed a missing person report and the police began trying to trace Zara. They tried very hard to find Zara, but couldn't, as she remained missing. Facts began to surface that gave the case a dark, horrific twist. After the missing person report, the police started an investigation. Neighbors and people around Zara's house were questioned, but their answers were unsatisfactory. Sugra Bibi and Yasmin, Zara's mother-in-law and sister-in-law, sounded very confused in their statements. Their accounts did not match, which increased police suspicion. After intense questioning, Sugra Bibi and Yasmin confessed their crime. They admitted they had planned Zara's murder long ago. The mother-in-law and sister-in-law said Zara had become a burden for them and there was constant tension in the house, so they decided to kill her. Together they strangled Zara to death inside the house. Then, to hide their crime, they did even more horrific things. What I'm about to tell you now may leave you shaken to your core. They used a butcher's cutter, the kind used to cut meat, and dismembered Zara's body into pieces. They burned her face so she couldn't be identified. After committing the murder, they put Zara's body parts into separate plastic bags and threw them into the canal. All of this was done in the dark of night so no one would suspect anything. The police team searched and recovered Zara's body parts from different places. The recovery was so disturbing that it shook every person who heard about it. After Zara's murder, the case drew the attention of the entire community and the media. Zara's father, Shabir Ahmed, a police officer himself, fought emotionally for justice for his daughter. Based on evidence and confessions, the police arrested Sugra Bibi and Yasmin. Initial investigations suggest Zara's murder happened because of personal conflicts at home. Zara often lived under tension with her mother-in-law and sister-in-law. They claimed Zara was irresponsible about household matters and ignored family functions. But no conflict justifies murder. This was beyond any standard of humanity. The police converted the case into murder charges. Sugra Bibi and Yasmin's case is still in court, where the prosecution is trying to get them the harshest possible punishment. Attempts are also being made to contact Zara's husband, who is in Saudi Arabia, so he can give his statement in the case. This incident isn't just a family matter. It has raised questions about domestic violence and mental health issues. People across the country are expressing their grief and anger, and are rising for justice for Zara. On social media, the discussion is how women are not safe even inside their homes, and how enemies of humanity can be created within the family who can sink to such depths. This case points to a much larger societal problem, domestic violence, and the hatred that grows quietly within. Zara's murder is not just the tragedy of one individual. It highlights a failure of the whole system. It asks whether we let conflicts and anger inside us grow so large that they turn into hatred or crime. Zara's case gives us a chance to look within ourselves, a reminder of how fragile human life and relationships are. At the end of this video, I would just like to say, how do people even know that after killing someone they should dismember the body, put the parts in plastic bags, throw them into a canal, and burn the remaining pieces? How does society know such methods? Is it because of watching certain movies and series? In my opinion, such films should be completely banned. They shouldn't be treated as mere entertainment but as glorifying crime. Those are the things that play an important role in corrupting our society and increasing people's fantasies about murder. I'll meet you in the next video. Take very good care of yourselves. Remember me in your prayers. Give a DarkReel Pyramus. Goodbye.